What is up, everybody? Welcome to the Shot of Sports. Grab a drink, a snack. This is your weekly dose of sports, where we'll break down and do a deep dive on the world of sports. Whether you're a casual fan or a diehard, we're here to bring you the latest, the best analysis, and the hottest takes. I'm your host, Jalen Nicholson Bourne. Make sure you like, share, and subscribe. Even comment. Smash the like button for us, and tap the bell on the side so you can be notified whenever we drop, so you won't miss one. So today we got on the show Nazir Spencer. He's back for his second go round, and we got our boy Drew Best, Mr. ABC himself.
Uh,
How was y'all?
Hey.
How's y'all days?
That's good. Hey, we got Mr. NBA in the building. We got Mr. Radio and Mr. TV in the building today. I don't know what's going on, but it's a good day.
Hey, this Whitewater takeover is really taking shape, huh?
Oh yeah, yep.
Good stuff.
It did as well. It did as very well.
I don't think we have Nolan right now, but we promised that we'll get him inside the show at some point. He just probably got a lot going on. So we're going to jump in our first topic real quick. We got the Masters. The Masters take place in Augusta, Georgia today. Early this morning, they kick things off. The names to watch are obviously Scotty Scheffler, who is likely to win the Masters over the past 3 years. He was the previous winner in 2024. His best is birdies or better, and in bogey avoidance. Roy McIlroy is always in there. His name hit. I think what was his daughter hit something yesterday. What was it?
Yeah.
Like 6 feet out or something.
It was like it was 6 feet. Man, I just saw it actually. Yeah, it was something like that, but it was crazy, and she's gonna be good too. So
he heads to the Augusta National, having achieved something for the first time in his decorated pro career, winning twice on U.S. soil before he even gets to the Masters. So that's pretty. He's won a couple tours before the Masters even started. Those are the two names to really watch. But a guy like Justin Thomas is someone to watch, as he's been a proven winner and feels he's a dark horse. Scotty Scheffler enters the tournament as the defending champion and the favorite to win it all, followed closely by Roy McIlroy and then Colin Morikawa and then John Rahm. So, Drew, who do you think gonna win it and why?
Well, I guess just to start, I think when you look at the Masters, it's a tournament that really the favorite almost never wins, right? The closest we've gotten in recent time was Rahm in 2023, and he was a plus 900 favorite. Everybody else has been usually in between about 14-1 and 30-1. So it's going to be those guys like Bryson DeChambeau, and really, I mean, that's where Rahm's at this year. Morikawa, Thomas, those sort of guys are the ones that are most likely to get into the running just based on recent history. And for me, I'm gonna take Morikawa. If I'm gonna put my name on someone, it's gonna be Morikawa. Obviously, you can't overlook Scheffler. You can't overlook McIlroy. McIlroy's probably playing the best golf of his career at this point, but it's very rare that those top dogs end up finishing on top. So I guess if you're a good bettor, you're gonna want to try and pick someone between that plus 1,400 to plus 3,000 rate.
yeah, I'm gonna go Rory McIlroy or whatever's I don't know how to pronounce his last name, McIlroy or something like that.
McIlroy, you got it.
McIlroy, yeah.
And I've been kind of following PGA for like 3 years. I kind of dipped off a little bit this year, but all I know is that he had a really strong 2025, and he claimed both the AT&T Pebble Beach Pro Am, which is like crazy, and the Players Championship. So when he did that, he played against JJ Spawn, who's also really good. Who should be in the running, but I'm not sure his chances right now. But those performances like kind of position him to kind of just be great in the PGA Tour. So I got him. I wouldn't say by a landslide, but I will say that he is a very great underdog to keep in mind. So for those of you who are betting people, we don't give betting advice, but if I were to bet, go ahead and do that. Bet on him, but that's not betting advice, though, for sure.
I'm going to look at not the odds-on favorite that everybody look at, which is Scotty Scheffler or Roy McIlroy. I'm going to look at Justin Thomas. He's a proven winner. He's won a lot in the past, and I think that he might, come out with that green. It ends on Sunday, and you're going to have that famous green jacket. So I feel like Justin Thomas is a dark horse, and he might be able to. I hope if he hits under pars, he might be in a good shape and might be in a good area.
I agree. Those pars are hard to get, though, especially in that type of setting. I couldn't even imagine that, dude. I can barely hit one, free roaming at the field. So
Yeah, I ain't even been to Top Golf yet, so I
we
still got to do that.
got
But
to get you right, man.
so our next one we're gonna jump into is obviously the biggest headline: Luka's reunion. Last night, Luka Doncic made his long-awaited return to Dallas with the Lakers beating the Mavericks 112-97. He put on a masterclass of 45 points, 8 rebounds, and 6 assists, hitting 7 threes. The man had 25 points in the first half of the first 15 minutes. You could tell throughout the game, Kyrie Irving was missed a lot of stagnation, but the offense wasn't flowing. Is Kyrie the answer for the Mavericks, though? For them to get over the hump?
No, never will be.
Yeah, well, and that was exactly what I was gonna say. Is Luka is that offense that the Mavericks were missing, and they saw it right in front of them last night. And he was getting to everything. He was hitting tough shots. He was really working well, getting to mismatches and being able to pull the big guys out to the perimeter and then work straight past them or hit a 3 in their face. So it seemed like everything was working for Luka. And despite the game itself, obviously the tribute to him was, I think, my favorite part of the game, and just seeing the emotions that are still there, which obviously I'm sure made things a little bit more tense. But I think that they still appreciate him no matter what decisions they made. And I mean, Luka was vocal. He loves his city, and I think he knew he was going to put on today, or I guess last night.
Hey, you know what JJ Redick said? He said that Luka's performance was superhuman, and that is exactly what he is. And I do not understand to this day why he was traded for a bag of chips and Anthony Davis. Okay, no disrespect to Anthony Davis, but if you're going to get Luka, at least get Austin Reeves and Anthony Davis and some picks from the Lakers, because you know they're going to be set with Luka if they have all those picks. And guess what? They are now. So it doesn't make any sense to me still to this day. They were screaming fire Nico in the building, and to be honest, I can't really blame them as an outside fan. Like, I'm not a fan of the Mavericks, but as a fan of basketball, I can't even hate on that, because why would you trade him? Okay, now to Luka's performance, absolutely stunning. I knew it was going to happen. I knew he was going to put up some type of historical numbers, because why not? Old team, you're going to do it in front of Nico's face. But there's a part of me, let me say this real quick, there's a part of me that thinks Nico is taking all the blame from the new owners, the new majority owners, that Mark Cuban decided to sell the team. I think that he's taking all the blame from them, because I think that they didn't want to pay it, because you pay them. The owners pay them. And when you have a big contract coming up like that, it only you look at all the wrong things that they do. And if it's that bad, you're not getting paid. And for that thing that was bad, it was Luka's defense. So I think that Nico is taking all the blame from them, but still, if you're in that GM position, in my opinion, I don't know all the details about the inside the NBA or anything like that yet, but if I'm from a fan perspective, if you're the GM and you have an historic player on your team, he's on pace to like put up historical numbers, and he's just playing out of his mind. He brought you to the finals last year. There's no way I'm backing down from the owners and saying that I'm going to trade him. There's no way. So I don't know what happened. I don't know why the Lakers were the only team that they talked to, but it makes no sense. And Jalen, the Jazz were kind of a part of that trade too. I'm not sure if you have any inside NBA talk on that, but from my perspective, it doesn't make any sense. Maybe it makes sense to you, but I would love to hear.
They got some pencil shavings out of it.
Yeah, I think we got a pick, believe out of it. I think that's where we had
Jalen's a part of the Jazz, by the way, everybody.
Hold on, let me see if I can find that trade, because I think we had got
somebody
player that's not with us anymore.
Yeah, you waived him the next day, or the same day maybe. I don't remember.
But while you're looking for that, can we just talk about the fact that the Lakers could make a lot of teams really nervous in the playoffs? This is a team that's set to go.
Yeah, they just secured a top 6 seed.
That's it. I remember now. We got Hus Scafino for that.
Yeah,
and we didn't keep him.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
he didn't even come to practice.
He didn't even make it in the building.
They didn't even have him come to practice.
Didn't you get Schroeder too in the same building?
Was Schroeder a part of that deal though?
Oh, not a part of that deal, but just like a different trade. Didn't the Warriors play you and then?
Oh yeah, we did. We did have. I was actually sitting courtside with Steph Curry was warming up, and
and Wiggins
all
got
of a sudden, everything stopped,
They
and
got Jimmy.
then Steph Curry went to the back. All the Warriors players, all the Warriors people went off the floor because it was just Steph Curry at that time because he
Right.
was about to warm up. So he walked to the back, and then all of his coaching staff went to the back, and then they said it was a closed door. So they were like, "Well, they never close that door ever when a team is here." So they closed the door,
That's insane.
and no Marvin Sapp, but they closed the door, and I guess they were going over the discussion and what happened, and that's when I saw my phone that Jimmy Butler was traded to the Warriors, and I was like, me and one of the coworkers I was sitting next to, we were like, that's why Steph Curry went to the back, and he didn't come back for a while actually, like he didn't come back for at least 5 minutes.
He had to say bye.
So I'm like, is he even gonna come back and warm up? Like at the time, I had already seen him make a few layups, but is he gonna come back? And he came back out, but later, like I think while he was shooting, more details of the trade came out that Dennis Schroeder was involved in that trade, and
Yeah.
basically he was supposed to walk over to our locker room, and
He couldn't play though, right?
no, he couldn't play because they had to pin the medicals and stuff. But
Yeah,
basically, he would have to walk over to our bench.
that's crazy.
But they didn't do that. I think we bought him out or said we weren't going to keep him, and he got sent to. At first, he got sent. I think
He went to the Raptors, and then the Pistons.
then he went to the
Raptors and won, and then
Yeah.
the Pistons. It's crazy.
He got passed. I know. I don't smoke, but he got passed around like a blunt.
No, yeah, for sure. But listen, man, just back to that Luka, his performance is absolutely amazing, and in the playoffs, I'm really hoping to see them do good. But just if they play the Warriors, I don't want them to do that good. I'm gonna be honest with you. I need Steph to get another ring, but it's very unlikely because the Warriors just lost. But they're gonna be the playing team probably, which sucks. But that's all right. But
Redick had go ahead.
But Luka and LeBron and Reeves are going to be great in the playoffs. The only issue I have with that team is no big. So that's going to be a huge issue, especially if they play Jokic. But they seem to be pretty good. It doesn't really matter against Jokic now because they don't have a good coach anymore. I don't know if you guys saw that clip, but Jokic was on the sideline just coaching the team himself last night against the Kings. I'm pretty sure they lost that game too. So.
No, they won that one.
They won. Okay, never mind.
Actually, it's right there, 124.
I know they. Yeah, I know they lost the lead. I'll turn the game off. I don't know if they won or not because I was just like whatever. But yeah, Luka's going to be great in the playoffs. Nico's going to forever hold that. They're going to forever hold that against his head. So.
Can we just take a look at the middle of that Western Conference right now? Obviously, that seems like the Lakers are going to come out on top of that scrum between the 3 and the 8 seed, but everybody's still within 2.5 games of each other. If you take the Lakers out, within 1.5 games, and I think that one team you still got to look out for is the Clippers. They're hot right now.
Right.
8 of the last 10, 6 in a row. Harden's happy.
If the Clippers play the Nuggets, I got Clippers in like 5. I'm gonna be honest with you.
Well, let's listen. I don't think that we can rule out the Nuggets yet. I think that there's still a lot of talent there. I think it could be with that Western Conference. It could still be interesting, and they have the star power to do it. I'm saying the Clippers will be tough to fend off, though. I can't be a betting man and put any numbers on anybody right now without doing some full down research. But I think at this point, the Clippers are definitely gaining ground.
Coaching matters, especially in the playoffs. And if they don't have a coach, and I will never. We'll get to this in a second, obviously, but I would just never understand it. Why they do this a week before, 2 weeks before playoffs makes no sense to me. But in the playoffs, especially in crucial moments, in like game 4s or like game 5s, and especially game 7s, it's going to involve high class coaching, and the Nuggets do not have that now. They have the talent, yes, but that can only get you so far. Like the Grizzlies, they're only going to get so far because they don't have a coach anymore. They should have waited till after the season. So that's my opinion, but it's just it matters. It comes down to coaching a lot in the playoffs, from what I've seen as a fan. So,
well, if you look at what JJ Redick said, he said that his ability to then go perform, the lights turn on, he's teary-eyed, emotional, resolve to put on that kind of a performance. He's a superhuman.
He had the whole stadium behind his back. That's why he had no. I don't think once he stepped on the court, it looked like he didn't have any type of nerves whatsoever because everybody in there was behind him.
Oh, not one bit. And then you can see that what's his name? Jason Kidd. He says, "We believe in Nico and Patrick. Nico Harrison had the full support from bosses."
Yeah, they forced him to do it.
Yeah. And like Drew said, he wanted to look at you said you wanted to look at the middle of the Western Conference. Well, there you go. I mean,
yeah, this is a group that, I mean, we've kind of seen this in the Western Conference in past years, but with so few games left, these are pretty much from 4 to 8 could shift at this point, and it could end up where a couple of teams lose their last 2 games and drop 2 to 3 seeds, and it'll be interesting to see how it all plays out. But if everything were to land as is, and that would be, I mean, the only matchup set in stone from that group would be Lakers Grizzlies, which that would be some fireworks. And then
Lakers would win that. They don't play bad against Memphis at all. It's kind of crazy. I've seen them play Memphis for years, and they just never bat an eye. It's crazy.
It's true, but the other thing you got to think about, you're the one who is preaching coaching. It'll be interesting to see how JJ Redick handles himself in the playoffs.
That's my
question. I was actually talking to my dad this morning, and we were talking about how he had full support of Nico and Patrick. What is crazy is that they wanted him gone. So why would? So what? It's something we don't know what happened, but what happened for them to have management in the front office don't even want to give you the max to what you deserved and what you brought to Dallas as an 18-year-old kid, for them to turn on you that quick, and for them not even to want you in the building. It's crazy to me.
Yeah, it's interesting, but I think that I don't know what the outlying factors are, but there's certainly a lot to look into, and that's obviously something that people have speculated now for months. But I think at this point, it's just a matter of I don't think the Mavericks felt like they were ready to pursue a championship anymore, and I don't get that aspect of it. But that's what it comes down to for me, and they've kind of lost their fan base over it.
We got some Nico Harrison clip that they were saying fire Nico. Here we go. Let's get this in there. And he was just smiling, laughing with all the security guards around him. I mean, it was. So I don't understand why he's the only one taking so much flack. I hate it actually, because that makes fans really look bad.
Well, he took all the blame, bro. He literally said, "I did this because for the better of the Mavericks organization." He said that at multiple press conferences. He took that on himself. So, like I said, I understand, he might have done it for the bosses, but I mean, he took all the blame. He literally publicly did it like multiple times, saying that it would be worth it in a year or two.
And when you do that, you can't cry about it, and that's I think that Nico's kind of probably handling it as good as he can for knowing what the response is. Obviously, it'd be so easy for someone to maybe just go and hide away from that, and obviously, I mean, there's a reason that there's a couple security guards there, but I think that when you think about this team as a whole, they just for some reason didn't believe in him, and he had his reasons, and I mean, only time will tell if that was proper. Or I mean, the Lakers, I think, have a pretty good chance of fast tracking it to the Western Conference Finals, and then we'll see from there.
Hey Jalen, if you don't mind, put that graphic back up for me real quick, bro, because I'm trying to look and see. So the Lakers got it locked up. Okay, they got top 6 seed. Mm-hmm. Nuggets. If the Nuggets lose and the Warriors win, they might switch spots, or the Clippers. Obviously, the Grizzlies, if they lose, they'll switch spots probably. But these matchups are just insane. Like the play-in tournament actually
could literally be an actual playoffs. Like the play-in tournament is looking the way an actual playoff series should look.
Right. And the Kings, they're like very underrated in my opinion. I don't think that they're that bad. Even with them too, they lost their coach earlier this year. And
I don't understand it.
It worked out for them for like 2 weeks, and then they kind of just went back to regular form. But their team is low-key not that bad. So if I'm the Warriors or Minnesota right now, or even the Grizzlies, I don't want to play them because they got DeMar DeRozan, who is a seasoned veteran. They have Zach LaVine, who's he's a veteran as well. I wouldn't say he's a top veteran, but he's a veteran and he knows the game very well. They have Sabonis, one of the best centers in the game. I mean, I personally just, especially the Warriors, I don't think I want to play them because they got a lot of history and no De'Aaron Fox anymore, but Malik Monk and Keon Ellis they're good enough. So I don't know, that playing series is looking really cool to me, but those playoff spots are going to be crucial, man. Like those matchups are just going to be absolutely amazing. So
Yeah, and when we look at those matchups, I mean, the Western Conference, they all play each other at this point. I mean, let's start with the Nuggets at the top of that chain. That's they play the Grizzlies and the Rockets, which neither are a very easy task. You look at the Clippers, they play the Kings and the Warriors to finish out the season. And back up to number 3 with the Lakers, they play the Rockets and the Trailblazers, so they're not even clear to go get that 3 yet. So those are just the top 3. I haven't gotten to look at the other ones, but it's going to be really interesting to see how those numbers play out. Because I mean, if you look at it, that means the Rockets finished their season with the Lakers and the Nuggets, and that's going to make things. Obviously, they won't move anywhere, but that's going to be a tough road for them just before getting to the postseason.
But the Rockets have a chance to do the greatest thing possible for them, which is, well, no, actually they have a chance to do something bad for them, because if they let these 2 teams win or lose, or if they beat these teams, excuse me, and these teams fall to like the 7th spot, they have to play them first round. So that would, that would suck.
We do got some post-game footage. We do got some post-game footage of Luka talking about the game and his homecoming and all about what he felt.
Going to be like tonight. Just what were you feeling out there on the court?
I don't know, honestly. Everybody saw me the way I reacted to the video. All these fans, I really appreciate it, man. All the teammates I had, everybody had my back. I'm just happy, this guy, I love these fans. I love this city, but it's time to move on.
What was it like for you sitting there watching all that love, watching that video pregame?
So many emotions. Can't even explain it, Brought tears to my eyes. Like I said, I came as a young kid here with 18, and I know what to expect from NBA. And, that made me feel like home, and it's just a lot of great memories.
Do you know my odd takeaway from that one?
Mm-hmm.
Watching that video, obviously everything that he said was super meaningful to the city, but I also found it interesting that after the Mavericks just gave up 45 to Luka and they lost, that they were playing the song Better Days in the background. I think that was just, I feel like that was just icing on the cake. They're like, oh, well, maybe someday we'll be good again. Maybe we'll have our next Dirk in I don't even know how long, but it clearly wasn't Luka for them.
There's speculation around the league, or the fans around the league, I should say, that the trade was coordinated to push away from the fans because the owners that took over the majority have a lot of like casinos or something in Las Vegas or something like that. They have a lot of ties in Vegas or something like that, and they want to move the team to Las Vegas.
Yep.
Something
along those, because they want to get out of Dallas to go to Vegas because they want a team in Vegas for the NBA, which
that's silly.
I think it's silly, but at that point, just expand. Which I wouldn't mind if there was like 2 more teams in the league personally.
I was gonna say you bought the wrong franchise for that. I don't think that Dallas is going to give him up that easy.
Yeah, no way that's even possible. I feel like Dallas is way too big of a community, especially
no matter how PO'd they are at the ownership right now. There's no way that they're going to let them take that team away from them.
I agree. It was just a lot of speculation because the new owners, they have so many ties in Vegas, and that does say a lot because it makes a little bit of sense on why they're trying to, force their way out a little bit with giving up their best player they've had in a decade. So
I think an outlier of all of this is going to be Max Christie.
He's good though.
He's been playing really well. He had 11 points off the bench in 28 minutes. He hit a 3, went 5 for 8 from the field. He's playing some heavy minutes. I mean, he's going to be an outlier in this trade. Not enough people are going to talk about it, but he's going to be a real problem for them down the stretch in the future. So I know the Lakers didn't want to give him up, but it was either him or Austin Reeves, and they have to make a decision.
I still don't understand how you just don't force Reeves to Dallas.
I don't understand how any teams are like not making trades with the Lakers and not trying to ask for Reeves.
Well, I bet you Dallas wasn't going to want to pay for him.
That's yeah.
Dude's got a hefty contract. It's
not as much as Luka's though. What his would have been or what it is now.
Yeah, but Luka's a
I think
superstar.
they would have took Luka. I think they would have took Luka instead of Austin Reeves' contract at the moment.
Luka's. I'm sure you can agree that he's miles ahead of Austin Reeves, no matter how talented he's played and how much he's outperformed what people expected. But
absolutely, I'm just saying though, like for Dallas, I mean, I guess they already took up AD's contract, but they have all the money in the world. They clearly had enough money to pay Luka. They just didn't want to. They could have got Reeves and AD and then kept Kyrie. They didn't need Max Christie if they had Austin Reeves. I understand, but if they were serious about them making a run for the playoffs in the next year or two, that would have been the right move to make because that was their whole point. They wanted they wanted to prove that they could do that in the next year or two or three. And picking up Austin Reeves with Anthony Davis still, and you have Kyrie, who I don't think would have been injured if they got something else that would help Kyrie out with the minutes. That would have helped them a lot, and they would be in a lot better position than they are now because the trade would have made so much more sense. And
yeah, but they would have had to dump someone else off to the Jazz or something like that. They would have had another starter, but they would have lost their depth.
Well, get rid of Clay. I mean, they don't really value him that much. Clearly, if they're giving away everybody and Kyrie gets hurt and they get rid of Luka, Clay's value came to the Mavericks.
Clay's value is down, way down.
I mean, it's down, but they signed him for 3 years, $60 million, bro. It can't be that much down.
You know, this is Nico Harrison. This is Nico Harrison leaving the building.
He knows it's gonna be a tough media day for him tomorrow.
Yeah, he knows. Yeah, he walked away like he knew the cameras was gonna be on him. You could tell the way he was looking. Like I hate when they do that when they walk around and they act like no cameras are there, no cameras in their face, bro. You know the cameras are all in your face.
Got you, man.
You leaving, so
he has to. He ain't got no choice, man.
You gotta. I mean, you're gonna end that there. You gotta live up on it. You gotta You gotta own up to it, and you better find a way to win a championship before Luka does. That's all I tell you.
Is it too early to say that they'll go beat the Warriors in the play-in tournament?
Here we go.
I think the Warriors might actually make the postseason. Top six.
I think that they could. Yeah. Well, it depends on how everything shakes out, but I think it would just be hilarious if that's how everything shaked out and the Mavericks went on a tear at the end. I think that would be very fun. I don't think it's going to happen, but especially because I mean I'm sure Nazir will glaze all over, but Steph Curry is still Steph Curry.
Yep, the GOAT.
Of course,
I'll never stop.
So now we're gonna hit the NBA coaching carousel. We have another coach that's gone just recently after winning a recent championship. Denver Michael Malone was fired Tuesday, April 8th. A shocker across the league, actually. They won't extend the GM Calvin Booth either. Sources said that Jokic came out and said he understood. Well, he understood. The front office did what they did, and it came out. All he said was understood. And then incoming Hall of Famer inductee Carmelo Anthony said Jokic should have called BS if their relationship was in a good place. What y'all think that was?
I'll let you lead this here.
I've been reading a lot into it, and with the recent firing of Budenholzer as well from the Bucks, it all kind of just makes a little sense on why they did it a little bit, because from what I read at least, and I love Russell Westbrook, but I think he probably was a main factor in that firing, because I will say Russell Westbrook has helped him a lot this year, but when he hasn't, it's been bad. And Michael Malone, I think he favored Russ and gave him all those minutes ahead of, the younger players, which rubbed people the wrong way, which I've read about. And obviously he has the closest relationship with Jokic and Jamal Murray, but he was so hard on everybody else. And you know how he would when Malone goes to the presser, he's very unfiltered. He says whatever he wants to say, and he kind of calls out the players a lot, and which is what a coach is supposed to do. I'm not saying he's not doing his job, but it makes a little sense from a player perspective on why it happened and why there was so much. But the only thing that doesn't make sense is why before the playoffs. I get it maybe after the season, but the decision to fire a coach before the playoffs, especially when you are in the running to make a top 6 seed in the West and not be in the plan, is ridiculous. Like, why are we doing that? Why are we forcing it, man? I understand the relationship is charred a little bit, but give them one more playoff run with Jokic having a historic season and the team on Jokic's back. Let the coach try one more time and prove that he can still coach and win a championship.
Well, think about the Denver fans too. They had Malone for, I believe it was a decade, right?
He's the most winningest coach in Nuggets history. He literally outshines every other Nuggets coach that has ever happened. So
yeah, and you got him a championship, and that's exactly what this conversation is about. I mean, if your name's not Steve Kerr or Joe Mazzulla, and you won a championship in the last 6 or 7 years, you're out the door. And it's just
the only one that made sense was like Frank
interesting.
Vogel. That's the only one that made kind of sense because Frank Vogel was pretty bad the next year. But Budenholzer made the second round the next year and brought the Celtics to the 7 games, and he got fired.
There is a graphic out there that has all the coaches recently fired, I think since 2021, in which they've won championships and fired within 2 or 3 years. So we have Tyronn Lue, who was fired, who won in 2016, was fired in 2018. Nick Nurse, who was fired, he won in 2019, and he was fired with that 2023.
Yeah, I don't think they re-signed him, wasn't it? Or did he get fired? I don't remember.
No, he got fired. They went with
he was supposed to come to the Bucks, but then went to Sixers.
Yeah.
That Raptors team was very fun.
Yeah, it was fun. I'll never understand Tyronn Lue because he was in the championship that year and then he got fired immediately after. I remember that like yesterday. It was crazy.
And then you have
Frank Vogel is the only one that makes sense.
Yeah.
To me.
You got Frank Vogel, who won in 2020, was fired in 2022, and then you have Mike Budenholzer, Bucks native, all of you guys Bucks. He won in 2021, fired in 2023, and for Doc Rivers, and then you got the Nuggets coach recently, who won in 2023 with Mike Malone, who won in 2023 and fired April 8th in 2025. So, I mean, it's looking at this graphic is actually insane because it goes to show you that winning a championship does not keep you and give you job security. I mean,
does not matter at all.
It doesn't matter. I mean, it shows that ownership values multiple championships, values multiple winning.
It's not the Michael Jordan Bulls, bro. They're not gonna win every year. It's not how it works. It's too talented in this league. I've never understand it. It's the most talented the NBA has ever been. It's going to be way too hard to win every single year. Even for the Celtics that everyone thinks is going to repeat. That team's going to have the hardest time ever because their schedule's not going to be easy this year. That last year when they were the 1 seed, they kind of got it easy. I won't lie. They got with the first round, the Heat swept them. Second round, Donovan Mitchell injured. 1-5, swept the Pacers, beat the Mavericks team with Luka injured and not playing up to his potential in defense, and Kyrie not playing up to his potential. I mean, seriously, this team's going to have a lot of issues. It's hard for a coach to continuously win in this league, and to only give him a 2-year span to win again after that first championship is ridiculous. Give him time to build more on that team. Give him time to go again and try to find better pieces to make it to the finals again because it's going to be harder the second time. It doesn't make any sense to me on how the general management or the owners expect a championship every single year. I understand they have a superstar in Giannis and Jokic and Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown and the Raptors had Kawhi, but Kawhi left, so it wasn't really his fault. I mean, it just doesn't make any sense to me. So that's
when you think about Michael Jordan's Bulls, they won 2 3-peats,
right?
they had the greatest basketball player of all time. Like
Right.
it took having the greatest basketball player of all time for them to even consider keeping Phil Jackson around. Do you think if Michael Jordan would only won 2 championships, Phil Jackson would have been there? Yes, because why? He created the greatest basketball player of all time. When you look
Right.
at Steve Kerr's Warriors, this is what owners want. They want guys to be created to be the greatest of all time and and just overtake all of the old names that was there. Like Steph Curry with Steve Kerr. Steve Kerr's not going nowhere, but what has he won? He's won what? 4 championships. He's won a back-to-back. He's got Kevin Durant, a top 75 NBA player there. Then you got Steph Curry, who's a top 75 NBA player.
That's what I'm saying. You need time to be able to build off that championship that you won before. That
Correct.
2015 championship.
Then when you look at Michael Jordan's Bulls, you got Michael Jordan, the probably number one on all
Right.
time, which is the number one of the top 75.
Mhm.
Then you got Scottie Pippen, top 75. Dennis Rodman, top 75. It's like only outlier for Klay Thompson is he's number 76.
Yeah.
So it sucks. Like it's wild because you're asking players and staffs to create players, all-time players.
It's not gonna happen, man.
It's not going to happen. You got superstars like Jason Tatum in the league, who's going crazy, who's a superstar in the league. His coach got fired. Obviously, Udoka did something that
Yeah, okay. Yeah, that I
that's
understand
different. But that's a lot different.
I understand that one. You can't be eating, you can't be shitting where you're eating. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying? So,
like that's different. But is Joe Mazzulla on the hot seat if he doesn't win this season or next season? Like that's how I look at it. You got John Morant, who came from Murray State, and then Tevin Jenkins get fired and has them going to the playoffs like what 4 out of 5, 4 out of 6 years.
it makes sense, right?
Like,
you need
Making
time
the
to build.
playoffs is hard enough.
Exactly, and picture it as the next 16 games after you making the playoffs. You got to win.
You're playing against some of the greatest teams in the league
It
who
don't
are
make no
found their
sense.
chemistry.
It literally makes no sense, bro. Every team has chemistry, and every team's gonna have better
Like
pieces.
that, at this point, it's a little. Oh, I lost you.
Go ahead.
Sorry, I'm back. I was talking about how we don't really know what ownership values anymore, and obviously you can't say championships because there's only been so many owners who have been a part of championship teams. So these owners who are just getting rid of people right away, it's almost like it's all a foresight. They don't care what you did in the past unless you made them a lot of money and made them look really good. So I think that's just a matter of looking ahead, and do they really believe that this is something that can happen again? If they don't feel like that's the thing, they're going to clean house. And then I think that many owners are too quick to jump the gun on these coaches.
It makes you think, is Jason Kidd on the hot seat?
I don't even think he wants to be there.
No, I imagine he's probably gone soon.
He's
I don't
probably
think he
done.
wants to be
Yeah,
there
I don't
anymore.
think I think he's mentally out of it because they just
He
traded
looks like
the guy who. That's a story for another day. But they traded the guy who was, their franchise player, all-time great up there with Dirk Nowitzki, and he ain't even won a championship yet.
He didn't even look like he was into the game anymore, bro. He genuinely looked like he was just out of it. Which I
don't blame him.
That first presser after the trade, he looked like he was just like gone. He didn't understand it. He was sitting next to Nico like he wanted to punch him. It was ridiculous. And like I was saying, the Bucks had their finals the next year. They went to 7 games with the Celtics, and they lost by like 5 or 10, one of those. And the next year, Budenholzer gets fired because they were the 1 seed, and they choked it away in the first round. Which, okay, I understood that makes a little bit of sense, but I still think with the pieces that they had, Drew Holiday, Chris Middleton, Giannis, Brook Lopez, Bobby Portis, they could have had built off a little bit younger core, get Budenholzer some pieces, and plus his brother died, so he wasn't in the right headspace. Right. Or was his brother or his father, one of those? And
brother.
Yeah. So he wasn't in the right headspace, and he just fired him, which it's a business, and it's gonna happen to everybody eventually, probably. Unless they're just like Steve Kerr, who's gonna retire a Warrior. But it'll never make sense to me, man. I'll never understand it, and it's just a business. That's basically what I gotta understand at the end of the day.
So with that, we'll jump right into the NFL draft. The NFL draft takes place 2 weeks from today in Green Bay on April 24th at 8 p.m. Eastern time. We have some looks of what it looks like, what the draft will look like. Actually, the draft site in Green Bay will look like. It'll be right next to Lambeau Field. You got the setup onto the left. You have the big stadium in the middle, and then you got all kinds of areas around it. Titletown will be put up into Draft Town. So you got, this is what the stage would look like. They got where the commissioner is going to say the picks. Roger Goodell is going to say the picks and the names. Actually, it's not bad. I mean, hopefully it's warm. It'd suck if it's cold, and then you got, this is where the seating area will be. How the seating area would look.
And I was there just yesterday. I started seeing it go up. They finally raised the roof. I don't know if my phone's going to be able to see here, but the foundation is being laid. They already are hard at work, so it's gonna be really fun to see.
Drew, I got some exciting news for you, my friend. I'm gonna be there next Wednesday.
All right, go ahead and show your phone, Drew.
Oh yeah, I gotta get this picture out. Yeah, it was on the ground when we first got there, and they just finally started raising it. So it might be hard to see on camera.
We got him still. You there, Drew?
You can go ahead.
Oh yeah. Okay. Next Wednesday I'll be up there to look at the TSA and Green Bay draft, because with Green Bay being such a small city, they're gonna have to upgrade the airports, and so I'm gonna go there and next Wednesday and check it out and get the details on why they're or what they're doing to kind of help out the transportation into Green Bay, and what they're going to do with all these people coming in, because it's going to be 100,000 people there over that. So, it's going to be very
obviously that we followed very heavily over pretty much the last year. And that's been a question that a lot of people have had. And I mean, they've really done their homework just based on everybody we've talked to. I did an interview with Nick Meisner from Discover Green Bay yesterday. The transportation is pretty much worked out. They're going to be giving out updates on traffic on the NFL One Pass app, which is how you get into the event. And it's really going to be interesting. They're relying, just like on Packer game days, for people to get people parked on their lawns and to basically walk over to the draft from there. There's only a few certain entrances, so it's going to be really interesting to see how the traffic flow looks. But road closures have started. They're going to close Lombardi Ave. That's going to be a part of the draft footprint, and it's going to be really interesting to see. They estimate about 28 to 30,000 people will be able to fit in that area next to the draft stage, either under the tent for the super fans or the people flooding in from general admission. It should be a big event, and I don't think that there's going to be any absence of people who are trying to make it into one of the most historic football lands in the country.
Drew, are you going to be there on draft night?
I will be there on the first 2 days. I'll be reporting for the news side. I'm not sure exactly what that looks like right now or where I'll be, but I imagine I will be out in that scrum somewhere.
I think I'll be out there with you. Maybe. I don't know how it all works yet, but I'll be with I might be with some of the veteran guys at my station.
Just to get a flick.
Amazing. Get some footage for us so we can get that into the show. So
yeah, we'll keep you guys updated. I'll definitely be there next week though, Drew. I don't know if you'll be there at the airport, but yeah, I'm trying to get a lot of information on that to kind of bring back to the Milwaukee area, because a lot of people traveling up there aren't really sure what's going to be, working for them when they're driving up there. So, and people from just southeast Wisconsin and just northern Chicago or Illinois maybe flying up there. So it should be
the thing is, hotels are not easy to come by, especially because the NFL has had to really buy out a lot of those living spaces near the draft campus and everything else. Not cheap. These Airbnbs up there, not cheap. So there's a lot of people who are going to be coming from Appleton, Oshkosh, Sheboygan, Wausau, Milwaukee, all over the place. And it's just going to be this flood. And at least the other thing that I noticed was Nick Meisner said that this is going to be more of like a state fair atmosphere than a game day, where it's going to be 10 hours. There's going to be stuff going on all day. It's not like everybody comes in 1 hour, and then after the game, everybody leaves in 1 hour. It's going to be a consistent flow of people, and it's going to be a huge boom for businesses in Green Bay. And it's the last hurrah for Mark Murphy, who sees his final days as the president and CEO in just a few months.
That's awesome. I mean, it's pretty good to have. I mean, Chicago actually has the NBA lottery, so it's good to have a city in Wisconsin to have something along with one of the leagues and one of the symbol leagues. So who's number one?
Ooh, still tough for me. I really
we're not going. It doesn't have to be critical. It doesn't have to be like, hardcore number one. I know you guys probably won't be able to jump on. We probably won't be able to go live that day on the what is that? Well, we might be able to get it in there early. What time y'all?
I will start by saying that this is a weak quarterback race. This is an incredibly weak quarterback race. This is probably not down to like the Malik Willis, Matt Corral that year, but it's pretty close. I think the first overall pick should be Travis Hunter outright. That's the best athlete in the draft, and that's the highest upside.
I think the Titans should be smart about that. They should definitely build off the defense to get a bridge quarterback. I think that'd be extremely smart.
Well, Mel Kiper has Cam Ward going number one.
Yep, I saw that. I don't know, man. Yeah, I like Cam Ward a lot.
If you find a way to let the Browns get Travis Hunter, you're asking for it.
Yeah, I agree. Their defense is already insane, and putting that piece in their defense is ridiculous, especially Myles Garrett still. I mean,
and don't forget, they can go get a quarterback in free agency or in the draft somewhere to go with Travis.
Dude, Shador's not even like top 10 in most of these mock drafts, which is crazy. I don't even think he's first round.
Mel Kiper
he's not that good.
Mel Kiper has him sliding to 9 to the Saints. Do you know how crazy that would be if he went to 9 with that team that was practically that was close to the playoffs?
That's not going to be a good value for him. And if he goes to a team in the 8 or 10 spot, I bet he doesn't make it through the first contract before getting shipped off somewhere else.
Sanders is currently from what I'm looking at, I've looked at like 3 of them. They're all saying the Steelers are going to get him at pick 21, which I guess makes sense, but that's far down. Not even a lottery pick, top 5 pick. Okay. Well, there you go.
That at least makes a little bit more sense.
I would understand it. I mean, not every other team needs a quarterback besides them. And I mean, unless the Cardinals want to pick him up for some reason and trade Kyler Murray, but I can see that happening. I don't know why. I can just see it happening. But who do you guys on your teams? I know Jalen, your Bears team, and
I want Kelvin Banks from Texas, the offensive lineman.
Yeah,
I don't really want. I mean, it's not saying that I don't want Ashton Genty at all. Don't get that twisted, but I want to build the line as much as possible because I don't want another failed quarterback experience. You know what I'm saying? Like,
right.
I don't want. Caleb has a lot of talent.
They seem to be doing right.
He's got the arm strength. He has the accuracy. He has the potential to be great. I don't want him to be ruined by the Bears again. Ruining another potential high draft pick, ruining another franchise possible quarterback because we can't protect him. Like, I'm going to lose my mind. Obviously, my dad has already jumped onto my dad is already high on the list of he's proud of what he's seeing so far. I want to see it first. Like, I'm not getting my hopes up because I remember talking to him all last season that he was high, he was loving it, and by week 9, he was down. So I said I went into this. I even said on Hawk Talk last year, I want to see it. I'm not getting my hopes up, and there's proof and footage of me saying I'm not getting my hopes up, and I'm not, and I didn't. And look what happened.
If you expect disappointment, you'll never be disappointed.
Exactly. So until I see change in my face, until I see it on game footage that they've changed, I'm not believing in none of that stuff, and I'm not going to go crazy until I see the actual change, to see the change actually happen. Because I refuse to get my hopes up like I did with Justin Fields just to be ruined because we can't protect him.
Jets QB now.
Jets QB. We're going to talk about that later on. We're going to talk about that before the draft. And we're going to have all next week to talk about the draft as well. So who do you all think that you can get before we jump on to the next one?
Well,
to the
let me
last.
just say first that I mean, Nazir, you're a Chargers guy, so you're only one pick ahead before the Packers. So
We're gonna
if
trade
you
up.
take someone I like, I'm going to be a little
We're
frustrated.
gonna trade up. We're gonna get Tyler Warren. I'll get back to you though. Go ahead.
No, no worries. I mean, I think that the Packers, just based on what they've already done in the offseason, they're not gonna. I don't imagine that they go after offensive line again. I feel like that they've already established what that's going to look like for them. And I mean, the ideal thing would be to see maybe like I doubt that Shamar Stewart would even drop that far. I can't even consider that. I mean, the other option, Michael Williams, is a pass rusher because that's really what they're going to be looking for is someone to either compete with LVN because Rashawn Gary is still in good shape. It's just obviously coming off an injury, it was going to be a little bit tougher for him to go full speed. I think they're good on the interior line, but you got to get someone else who can add to that pass rush. And I mean, that starts, I think, with if Michael Williams drops, but the other one, I mean, they already had him looking at that Arkansas pass rusher. I can't think of his name right now, but he looks to be probably the guy that's going to appear in that area of the draft. The other one that I was looking at is right after they. I mean, if they do go interior line, I think Derek Harmon could be fun, and it would be interesting to see how that would play out. But otherwise, I mean, wide receiver, it'd be that Tateroa McMillan from Arizona has been dropping a little bit, and I haven't really seen a whole lot of why. I don't know if it was a bad combine or what, but I know that was someone who was pretty highly regarded.
Okay, so we're gonna leave that there. We're gonna
Hold
have
on.
more. Oh, go ahead.
I think for the Chargers, okay, real quick.
Mhm.
We needed interior linemen, but there's no good interior linemen in the first round. And I mean, there are, but we could get them second or third round without wasting a first round pick, obviously. And like I said before, we're gonna trade up and get Tyler Warren, but we also might trade down to get a little bit more draft heavy later in the draft. And I'm hoping we either draft Tyler Warren or Mason Taylor because we do need a great tight end after seeing what Will Dissly did in the playoffs last year was ridiculous. So I think I'm excited to see what they do, and I really want them to get one of those tight ends because those are fantastic tight ends, especially Tyler Warren. Oh my goodness.
We're gonna have a full week of NFL talk coming up soon. Then we're gonna have a full day of just breaking down the NFL draft and who we think. I believe that on draft day, I'm not sure if they have to leave early or depending on what time they have to leave will depend on what time we do the show. So, or if we have one. So, I will say that's all we have for the draft, and then we're gonna jump quick thoughts on MLB surprises. We're through week one, baseball. What is surprising to you thus far? For me, the Mariners. The injuries are killing them. Jackson Cole-RT having Tommy John was supposed to be a force. I saw Victor Robles, George Kirby, their ace is still hurt. Ryan Bliss gets hurt. Their second baseman, they have a 5-8 record. They've been looking really like mediocre and haven't had a lot of good pitching success. The Angels at 7-4 may not hold, but they've been playing well, hitting, scoring. Ron Washington has been playing together as a team, and moving Trout to right is really working wonders for them, even though he dropped the ball last night. Orioles at 5-8 is wildly insane, knowing the young talent they have. Granted, they've been dinged up, though. Henderson just got back from the IR. Westberg was held out yesterday for cautionary purposes with an upper body injury, and Bautista is coming off the Tommy John that he had last season. And they just looked out of shape, looked out of sorts. So what are y'all quick thoughts on that?
I'll start. I mean, as you mentioned, the Angels look great. They finally look like they have a team that's fun for the first time. Probably, I mean, you can even think about like you could say that Trout and Ohtani were fun, but as a full team, this is the first time that they've looked fun in more than a decade. And I mean, Logan O'Hoppe is doing work. There, Kyron Parrish is someone who was not even a serviceable hitter. He was I think it was in 57 games, he was below 100 WRC plus in AAA. And I mean, it's that guy was made a difference this year. O'Hoppe has brought his power. Yoan Moncada has been figuring it out. The pitching's been serviceable. And it's interesting because, I mean, if you look at if they're still competing by the trade deadline, they might be buyers for the first time in a while. And I think that would be interesting to see. But I guess just in terms of individual players, a lot of these young guys are really pulling it together. And I think that starts with Jacob Wilson, the Athletics. So this is a team that does not have a city designated for them in their name. Obviously, they're playing in Sacramento, but it's just Athletics, the team, and Jacob Wilson is someone who has come in and already taken it by storm. Tyler Soderstrom on that same team, 23 years old, first baseman, 6 home runs, batting above 300. The Athletics look really fun as well, and I mean that's a lot of those fun teams are either in the AL or in the NL West, because I mean there's not a whole lot of super fun teams outside of there. Obviously, I'll favor my Brewers. They've been looking pretty hot on the offensive side, and I get that. I'm interested in seeing how long Turang's power holds up.
Oh man,
He had a 440-foot bomb, but it was in Coors Field, so that's going to help. But his bat speed is up tremendously, so it'll be interesting to see if he can hold on. And Sal Frelick's been slapping the ball too.
You took the words right out of my mouth, man. Bryce Turang has been absolutely surprising to me this year. He's going to be an all-star in my opinion. I think he's right there at it. But I'm going to keep it a little local as well with the Chicago Cubs, man.
So you're surprised?
I'm a little surprised. Yeah, I'm a little surprised Turang's doing all that, man. I'm not going to lie.
Mm-hmm.
But with the Cubs, man, me and Drew, we were talking about this the other day, Drew. The Cubs are low-key nice now, man. Like, their offense is great. You know that who's it bolstered by? Dansby Swanson and Kyle Tucker, correct?
Yep.
And you know, isn't he drawing attention to, or Tucker? He's kind of drawing a little bit more attention to getting that contract extension. Am I wrong?
Every game he plays well. That contract gets more and more.
And
have to
I don't know how you feel about that, Jalen, but me
personally,
I
feel great. Pay him. I've been saying this. Like, I still think we should have Bellinger still.
Okay, see, that one's different though. Like he was gonna get paid like an extreme bag. Okay, I'm talking about just.
You're not going to get the value out of Bellinger on the contract he wants that you're going to get out of Tucker.
Right.
Well, I'm not saying get rid of Tucker. I'm saying we should have both.
Okay.
At this
I don't know if you have both though. That's what I'm saying. I don't know if you even have both if you sign them because you don't need them.
Well, we probably wouldn't have to have him sign. He was already opted into his contract.
Okay.
So we already was on the books for that. Okay. But getting Kyle Tucker at arbitration this season would have made us even more scary because we would have had 2 left-handed bats who are superstar players, and then we have Seiya Suzuki, who's an all-world hitter, and then you have an Ian Happ, who's a switch hitter at the leadoff spot. That would have been a serious and Cody Bellinger's a Gold Glove, even though he has a Gold Glove at first base. Yeah. He doesn't drop the ball like Justin Turner did.
Right.
So
now on the South side, I don't know what the White Sox are doing. Chris Getz, he needs to get it together. I don't know his decision making and organizational direction. It's kind of concerning. They're 2-9 right now, I believe, and I don't know what's going on.
I'm not surprised at all. And my pops is a Sox fan. He could tell you he's not surprised either.
I thought they'd be a little bit better than this. Like I don't know. I'm not like a huge baseball guy like you guys, but I tune in every once in a while, and I tuned into a White Sox game once, and I think it was like a few days ago, and
they're just bad.
I was at work, and it was on the big screen, and it was just like, what am I watching right now? They look out of sync.
AAA baseball.
Hey, they're only like 39 wins away from being above what they got last year. I'm not saying that they're going to be tremendous, but I think they can get at least to 60. I think it's possible.
Maybe. Well, we'll see.
Their line was 54.5 to start the year.
You know, I'm an up-and-coming fan in baseball. I want to see something good, and then seeing that close to home is kind of concerning. And
we're gonna be talking about baseball all season long, which is beautiful. So, with y'all final thoughts, go ahead.
Go ahead, Drew.
Man, I haven't even thought of my final thoughts yet. I guess while we're on the baseball topic, that man Vlad got paid $500 million.
Yeah,
that signing bonus. He's getting so much of it up front. None of it's deferred. The Blue Jays finally got their guy. They did something right here. They're always, I call them the Toronto in the hunt Blue Jays because they always are going after the top guys and not getting them in free agency. There's no excuse for them to not sign this guy, and they did. They got the job done. Now they got to build around him.
I'm going to give you mine real quick. I'm going to go with the NCAA D1 scoring leader for women is headed to South Carolina. Okay, she's headed from Florida State to South Carolina. So Dawn Staley, she just loses the national championship, but she just ends up, re-upping and grabbing the best player in the entire transfer portal. So, I mean, that goes to show you that they ain't going nowhere no time soon. That Dawn is still hurt. So,
I don't know, but they got a great GM over there. It's only college. But
Literally, go ahead. Yours.
hey man, let's get Tyler Warren to the Chargers and give Justin Herbert some help. If you don't, then he's probably gonna leave, and Harbaugh's gonna try to trade for fucking JJ McCarthy, which is gonna be horrible for me. So please get Herbert some help and get Tyler Warren and get an interior lineman before the season starts, and let's go win the West, hopefully.
Literally, I mean, I'm a Broncos fan as well, so hopefully we do some in the draft too. So with that, we're gonna, this is the end of the show. Subscribe, like, share, and comment, and then follow our other platforms on podcast form. We do have a Spotify, which we will be dropping a link to this show as well. So if you're on the Spotify, please come and subscribe to our YouTube so you can see us video-wise. And we have a TikTok as well. If you want to see all our short-term or our short reels that we have, go ahead and look into that. And, with that, we will be posting reels. What's that?
This is a nice beat.
Oh, yeah, for sure. We will post real shorts of shows, polls, question boxes, anything. You can always DM us if you have a question. And with that, this is Shot of Sports, and we'll see you tomorrow.